A Muslim taxi driver is stabbed for his religious beliefs in Manhattan. A suspicious fire is set at the site of a planned mosque in Tennessee. 5 teenagers are charged with harassing worshippers and firing a shotgun outside a mosque upstate.
This kind of reminds me of how it was immediately after 9/11. This new anger and hatred and fear has really burst to the scene again.
The days following the terrorist attacks on 9/11 was a time when even Sikhs were subject to violence for being mistaken as Muslims.
Indeed, it was a nightmare for the Muslim community. Some Muslim leaders proposed that we just close our mosque for a while.
Muslims would be walking down the street and people would shout slurs at them.
Still, leaders in the community also remember the outpouring of support from neighbors and politicians, which they say was critical in helping to keep tensions from escalating even further. President George W. Bush visited a mosque in D.C. less than a week after the attacks to urge tolerance.
These acts of violence against innocents violate the fundamental tenets of the Islamic faith. And it's important for my fellow Americans to understand that.
Khalid Latif, a Muslim chaplain at New York University, was an undergrad student at the school in 2001.
Immediately after 9/11, churches and synagogues here in the village, a lot of them opened their doors to us as Muslim students.
And in an effort to build bridges and promote understanding, Muslim leaders started to engage their fellow Americans more than ever about their faith. Reverend Chloe Breyer adds interfaith and activist groups also work to make sure civil rights would not be a casualty of 9/11 as well.
I think we saw from 2003 till about, really about a year ago or even 9 months ago, an understanding that the balance between national security and civil rights was a delicate one, and that we didn't want to sacrifice some of our most basic liberties in the attempt to protect our nation.
Now 9 years later, with plans for an Islamic community center and mosque 2 blocks from Ground Zero at the center of a national debate, no matter what the resolve, the emotions already stirred will continue to affect future dialogue and decisions. Shazia Khan, New York 1.